Welcome to the first official Legacy Voyage. This is your host, Dean Wata. In this podcast, I'll be documenting my entrepreneurial journey. So basically, the lessons I've learned, cool tools I found, websites, skills, knowledge, everything that I found on my journey to building my legacy. The reason I started this podcast is because I always just wanted to document my journey. And I started off doing that by doing a blog, but then it's hard to find time to set like a 30-minute hour trying to write down my blog, get content together, figure out what I want to put down. So I've decided that it would be better to do a podcast because I'm on a walk right now, and being able to walk and record a podcast is just this amazing multitasking. It's the same reason why I love podcasts. I love listening to podcasts because I could be eating, doing homework, on a plane, walking, working out, listening to a podcast, and just taking in the information. Another reason why is because, 10, 20, 50 years from now, I'm going to want to look back at my journey and figure out and just look back at it and remember the times where I discovered something for the first time, where I made my first 10,000, 100,000, first $1,000,000. Because imagine how cool it would have been. This is something Alex from Worsley says a lot. Imagine how cool it would have been if Elon Musk or Bill Gates or any of these multi-billionaires, imagine how cool it would have been if they documented their journey, starting from college, a freshman in college, which is something I also say is, imagine how cool it would have been if Alex from Worsley would have started documenting his journey, starting as a freshman in college, on his journey through building Gym Launch and meeting all these people and learning all these lessons. I feel like that would have been amazing, and that's why I'm starting this so early. And then another part of it is because I just want to share knowledge for free. One of the big mission statements that Alex lives by is making real business knowledge available to anyone. And what I want to do is serve my Polynesian community. I definitely might switch up the wording in the future, but the idea is I want to make business knowledge available to Pacific Islanders, Polynesians, but not only business knowledge, but actually down the road, I want to make it like health and wellness and mental health and all the aspects that goes into building a fulfilled life or successful life. And the final thing I want to talk about of why I'm starting a podcast is because I love entrepreneurship. I've just discovered this not too long ago. Literally a couple months ago, just started up Polytaps. I'll talk more about that in the future, hopefully. But I've discovered my love for entrepreneurship. I was talking to my cousin. Shout out to Vaya Tangitao. I was talking to him, going back and forth. He was talking about lack of motivation to do school. And I was really feeling that too. And the thing I said to him was, whenever I'm doing schoolwork, I get mad thinking about all the other things I could be doing that could be making money. But here's the thing, making money isn't just about the money. It's about the impact and the legacy that I want to build. In order to have that impact, I'm going to need the money to reach as many lives as possible, to serve as many people as possible. That's what I want to do, and I hope to document that journey through this podcast. I should also talk about my future plan. Originally, I wanted to do a podcast where I interviewed successful Polynesians, entrepreneurs, founders, leaders, innovators. And I think that still might be the plan, but that would probably be best on a separate podcast because I strictly want Legacy Voyage to to document my journey and be things that I've learned in my entrepreneurial journey. And I think later down the road, I definitely might partner with Island City Media Group. It's a media company for Asian and Pacific Islanders, which I think that would be super cool. Another thing I want to do is eventually be able to repurpose this content to go on to all the social media platforms. Honestly, right now, the the only social media platform I have is LinkedIn, which is kind of crazy. I'll be meeting new people. Hey, what's your IG? What's your Snapchat? I'm like, both. I do not even have bros. They look at me like I'm crazy. No, but I feel like it would be sick to use this podcast and then distribute it on all the platforms and also, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. That's what I hope it'll become. And I'll talk about every aspect of my life. Not every, like, I'm not trying to get too personal, but the important aspects of my life that goes into another journey. I think something that definitely goes unheard. Growing up Tongan, there's not a lot of talk about mental health, which really blindsided me coming out here for college. I should definitely do like a bio video. I'll do that in the future. But I still want to talk about mental health, physical health, how to stay in shape and stay healthy and fit, and my struggle with doing that while I'm a full-time college student, trying to work, doing entrepreneurial projects, all this stuff. And another thing I want to talk about is productivity, the apps and tools that I use. I think that would be super helpful. And then all the things that I've learned. Like, for example, this past weekend, an upperclassman brought me inside and we literally spent 2 hours on Sunday working on my resume. Like, how nice is that guy? Shout out to Max Skidmore. He's a real one. But he literally pulled me aside and then he offered this too, which was amazing. But he gave me all the tips and tricks and literally spent 2 hours on my resume, which was so helpful. So right now I'm just applying to a whole bunch of internships. And I want to talk about and hopefully teach others about that process of what goes into a good resume, the process of networking. Networking is a huge deal. Super big deal. And I feel like, I tell a bunch of people they should be networking all the time. But a lot of people don't know how to network, me included. At the start of, like, when I first came out here to Caddy, I'll talk about this more. Man, I should really go bio. When I first came out here to Caddy, they would always say, network with their golfers, network with their golfers. I had no idea what that meant. I think I was, like a 13-year-old freshman. Yeah, 13 years old. Somewhere going into sophomore year, talking about networking. Like, what does that even mean? But I really want to talk about that because I think that'll be so helpful for a bunch of young people out there. And not only young, but if you are, even if you're old, not old, like, but to me, anything is old. I'm 18. Like, in college, out of college, started working, been at your job for years. I think no matter what, networking is so important because you hear this a lot. You also hear it from me too because I listen to it a lot too. It's all about the network. It's all about the people you know. So definitely build your network. We're talking about how to network and how I do it through LinkedIn. Scheduling meetings, asking questions, all these things. So the way I planned out this video was literally just taking bullet points. Oh, this is all over the place. It'll definitely be more refined in the future, but I also want to talk about like how to build websites, how to market, the basics. how to start a podcast, my process of doing this. These are all things like reading books, different books I've been reading, courses I've taken, a podcast I've listened to. These are all things I want to talk about in the future. But yeah, I think that's it for this episode. I'm really excited for what Legacy Voyage is going to evolve into and become in the future. And I also really hope I can edit this stuff because man, I was burping and oh no. I hope the audio came through well enough. If the audio didn't, man, I'll do the whole thing over again. Oh well, I'm sure it'll be better. But yeah, I need an outro. Oh, what would be a good outro? Um, like a Tongan and Polynesian inspired. Tio, hey, that's a good one. Tio, eh? If you don't know, that's Tongan for like see you later, slang for see you later, bro. Something like that. No, I'm trying to learn Tongan in the future too. It's probably something else we can talk about. But till then, I'll talk to you.